And I'm Amani, and we're the Class of 2026 Vice Presidents.
This week, the Transcript investigates Flo the Flamingo, learns about ceramics class, and looks into Northampton's ceasefire resolution.
Hamped Up talks about Ultimate Frisbee, Take Awards reviews Mexican restaurants, and Culture Shock learns about downtown sounds.
On Monday, France became the first country in history to explicitly add the right for anyone to have an abortion for any reason into its constitution, with French Prime Minister Gabriel Attal stating, "We are sending the message to all women. Your body belongs to you and no one has the right to control it in your stead." In other news, on Monday, in a unanimous decision, the Supreme Court ruled that former President Donald Trump will not be barred from any state primary. This decision was reached after Trump challenged Colorado's claim that he violated the 14th Amendment and was therefore constitutionally disqualified from the race. In local news, a class action lawsuit brought against Yankee Candle has recently settled, with around 2,400 employees, current and former, being eligible to split $800,000. The lawsuit claimed that the candle company abused time rounding, resulting in thousands of hours of free labor being worked. I'm Michael Torno, and thanks for watching.
A plastic lawn flamingo has been found sneaking into random classes around the school in the past couple of months. Students have been wondering, why is this plastic bird everywhere, and what is her purpose in our school? Flo the flamingo has traveled far and wide in search of the perfect outfit. On September 22nd, 2023, she stumbled across Northampton High School, learning of its students' natural talent in fashion and glamour. But what amazing outfits have NHS students given to this mysterious flamingo?
I'm actually not sure who came up with the idea for Flo the Flamingo. I'm not sure who came up with that idea. All I know is one day this flamingo just started popping up in classrooms, and I was just fascinated with the whole journey of the flamingo. Flo just seems to be a free spirit. All types of costumes and attitudes and all things necessary that we need in this school to function.
We asked Mr. Moylan if he had any information on our mysterious pink friend, and he told us that Flo was an idea introduced by Mr. Worley, and was an idea that came from a school he had previously worked at. He gave the flamingo to Mr. Moylan and asked him to try and get Flo started on her journey as a fun activity for teachers and students alike. He named her Flo and wrote instructions on her base telling people to add an accessory to the flamingo and pass her to another teacher secretly after a week. He introduced her to the teachers through an email. Mr. Moylan was also the one to add Flo's iconic googly eyes before sending her off to another classroom.
Our artist in residence, Flo the Flamingo. Flo is taking up residence at the high school, at Northampton High School, specifically in room 320, where she really had a lot of creative growth. My drawing and painting students in periods 1 and period 2 added a lot of pizzazz. They also really they moved some objects around so she didn't feel as cluttered. They paid attention to a lot of the techniques, principles, and elements of art and design.
My favorite outfit of Flo's was the one I provided, which was the hall pass, because the hall passes seem to go missing all the time. So I just thought if Flo's going to be traveling around, might as well just have a hall pass.
Flo maybe is never finished. Like a real work of art, it's hard to determine if it is really finished or not. Only future collaborators will really be able to know this. Flo herself maybe should decide.
Well, hopefully the future for Flo is to become Northampton High School principal. We are going to be looking for one, so might as well just have someone who's experienced in all classroom areas.
Flo is being displayed on the first floor display case across from the girls' bathroom.
Flo will soon live in one of our school's many display cases. Make sure to check her out. I hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you next week.
Welcome to Wheel of Courses, where we take a look into different classes and talk to the teachers and students who have taken the class before. Today we'll be looking into ceramics to learn more about the workload and what the class offers.
Ceramics 1 is a grade 9 through 12 visual arts class here at Northampton High School. There's no prereq for the class. We have several units: pinch pottery, coil pottery, slab. Our most popular unit is wheel throwing. We learn about how ceramic is the first synthetic material ever created by humankind. We look at examples of Neolithic art all the way up until to contemporary art today. It's a lot more than just art making. There's a lot of geology and science and art history embedded in the course as well. Homework outside of class includes some short readings, there's some quiz work. We take a field trip to the Smith College Museum of Art as well, where we look at ceramic objects. The best thing about the ceramics course is that it's a course where we make stuff and students take pride in their work. So if you're enrolled in the ceramics class, of course, everything you make, you get to take home. We also have exhibits of artwork on display throughout the school. I would recommend ceramics as a course to anyone who is curious about taking a visual arts class. It is challenging, but I work really hard to meet every student where they're at. We have students new to art working alongside more experienced art students, so I really cater every assignment to meet you where you're at.
I was a ceramics student in 10th grade, and I was a TA last semester. Before I came here, I had never taken a ceramics class before, and I just really loved working with 3D objects, especially being able to make sculptural objects functional. The most difficult part of the class was probably the time restraints. I always say don't plan too big because you might not have enough time, and we do have students who end up not being able to finish their final project because they wanted to do something very big but didn't have the time. You can spend a lot of time during flex and like after school clubs spending time on your projects, but I'd say it's a pretty decent sized workload.
Thanks for watching, and make sure to talk to Miss Martindale if you're interested in this class. Tune in next week to hear about some more courses.
Last Tuesday, the Northampton City Council voted to pass a resolution supporting a ceasefire in Gaza. The resolution calls for, quote, an immediate, enduring, and permanent ceasefire by both sides, suspension of unrestricted military aid from the United States, the provision of unrestricted life-saving humanitarian aid in Gaza, and the release of all hostages taken by Hamas and Palestinian political detainees, end quote. The resolution came after pressure from pro-Palestinian activists who came to meetings expressing their anger that the City Council had not yet passed a resolution. Other groups, including the Jewish Federation of Western Mass, attended the meetings to voice their opposition to the resolution. We spoke to counselors Rachel Maori and Stan Moulton, as well as Molly Parr, Vice President of the Jewish Federation of Western Mass, to learn more.
The concerns that we were hearing from our community members were the kind of mounting humanitarian crisis that was happening, and really the need for there to start being collective pressure for something to happen.
Hearing the story, the very personal stories from people who live here about their friends, their relatives who have been killed during the Hamas attacks in Israel and during the bombardment of Gaza were very moving.
The current conflict is very nuanced. It's layered with historical, political, and religious complexities on which the city of Northampton has no official business taking a position on. It's a foreign policy issue and not for the purview of the city.
If you want a sort of popular demand that is against the interest of the US government, like a ceasefire, to be met, then you have to put a lot of pressure on the government.
I believe there's a cumulative impact for federal officials. For example, our resolution will be sent to Congressman McGovern, to the U.S. Senators Markey and Warren, as well as to the president.
For like our Palestinian community members and our Muslim community members generally who spoke, it made them feel a lot safer and supported in their community. We heard some really harrowing stories about Islamophobia in Northampton, and knowing that the city sort of has their back and is with them in the struggle, I think meant a lot to Muslim community members. There was also a letter from several hundred Jewish community members talking about why they supported a ceasefire that was sent to city council.
Mezuzahs were ripped off of doorposts at Smith College in the past 2 days. Swastika graffiti was found near Smith College on Elm Street last week, right as this ceasefire was being passed. Beta Hava itself received 2 bomb threats. It's not bringing any peace to us. It's just making us less safe.
This is a tough issue, and it's a very emotional and people feel very passionately. We just felt like after a while, as leaders, we had to say something.
Hampton is now one of over 70 U.S. cities that have passed a ceasefire resolution. Thanks for watching, and see you next week.
Y'all ready for this?
Hi, and welcome to Hampton. Ultimate is a non-contact team sport in which the objective is to score goals using a disc that was developed in 1968 by Joel Silver. As they prepare for their season, we interviewed captains and players of the boys and girls Ultimate teams. They dive into the work they put in during the season and what they believe to be the key to a successful season.
After our last season, I'm pretty confident walking into this season. We have a really strong group of returners and a really strong group of newcomers, and I think they're all going to mesh together really well, and we're going to have a great team this year.
It really just provides an environment to sort of be able to grow and change into the kind of player that you want to be.
As a captain, I think I will plan to maintain a smooth running season by just making sure everyone is on the same page for practices, games, and making sure we have, goals for the season that everyone can get behind.
The team provides a really supportive and friendly environment, both for me and for anyone in the sport. Ultimate Worldwide is incredibly accepting. It's a great community. Anywhere you go, everybody's just super nice.
Thanks for watching. Make sure to keep an eye out for the Ultimate teams this season. The season begins March 11th.
Welcome to Take Awards. In this spin-off segment, we'll be pitting different restaurants against each other to determine the best food items in Northampton.
First installment, we'll be comparing tacos from two different restaurants in Northampton, Bueno y Sano and Veracruzano.
Both restaurants opened in the 90s and have similar location spots around Western Mass. While Bueno has more of a Tex-Mex cuisine, Veracruzano has more of a traditional Mexican-style food.
We ordered carne asada tacos from both restaurants to determine which one is better.
We got 3 different salsas and chips from both the places. I guess we'll start with Veracruzano. All right, cheers.
Sink it and sink it.
Okay. Oh.
Salty, crispy, yummy.
8 out of 10. 9 out of 10. 10 out of 10. 9 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
Excuse me.
Really nice flavor. I like the color too. It's just obviously they're homemade, more natural than store-bought chips. So really delicious. They have a nice little sprinkle of salt on them too, which is always appreciated.
But now I say let's try out the mild salsa.
Sounds good to me.
Pretty good.
I love mild salsa. I'm gonna go for an 8 out of 10.
I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10.
I'm going 7 out of 10.
Final salsa we got. We did have a little bit of a spilling issue right here. I'm not
Second
sure.
spilling issue of the day.
I'm not sure how that happened.
Same
or who
salsas
did that.
too.
But the salsa that we have is our green tomatillo salsa. We're gonna see how this tastes. We're gonna pour
Cheers.
7 out of 10.
Yeah, I'd give it about the same, 7.5 out of 10.
I have to give this one an 8 out of 10.
Moving on to Bueno's chips and salsa.
Dry test.
I'm gonna say a solid 5 out of 10.
I'd give the Bueno chips a solid 5.
Bland, not seasoned, small. I'm going 4.
All right, well, let's try with the salsa. We're starting with the green, of course, the tomatillo.
Cheers.
Travis got a big bite.
I'd give that a solid 7.
8.
7.
Moving on to our last salsa, we have the mild sauce from Bueno. Cheers.
Love the flavor. 9 out of 10. Now we are down to the tacos. Now, it could be me, but what I'm seeing in front of me from Bueno does not look like a taco, but we will categorize it as one anyway. We got carne asada tacos.
First up, we're gonna go for Vera.
Cheers.
Tortillas. Cheers. The consistency of the beef is really nice. The flavor is great too. I'm giving it a solid 8 out of 10. I really enjoy this, honestly.
In my opinion, it is a little dry. I'd give it a 6.5 out of 10.
Dry, simple, tasty. 7.5 out of 10.
Moving on, we have the tacos from Bueno.
Cheers. Delicious. That's getting a 10 out of 10.
As stated, I'm not a big fan of cheese, but I can't really taste it. I'm gonna go with a 7.
I am gonna agree. I'm gonna give it a 7.5 out of 10.
Vera takes the win. Flavor, cost, appearance.
For the overall rating, I'm gonna go for Vera takes the win as well.
Thank you to the PTO for funding this broadcast. We'll see you next week.
From guitars to synths, Downtown Sounds is a full-service music store that provides a wide variety of instruments and services to the community. Located on Pleasant Street in Northampton, Downtown Sounds was founded in 1976 by Joe Blumenthal and recently became a co-op in 2019. With over 20 instructors, they also offer lessons for many different instruments to those looking to learn an instrument or improve their skills.
We are a cooperative. We're a collective of people who came together after the original owner of the store retired. My colleagues and I got together in 2019 to purchase the business from the original owner because no one of us could have done it ourselves. We got together with a collective under the guidance of other people throughout New England and different lawyers and attorneys and other professionals who helped us form the co-op itself. It's a nice location that we're in, helps out a lot too. Being in a community that really supports a cooperative and independent business really helps us, I think, survive. I think we'd have a much more difficult time in other places of the world, but we're lucky to be here in Northampton and we can serve a community that we've been able to do so for 48 years. And I think a big part of the reason that we have maintained a successful business that continues to grow is the fact that we have a very supportive community. We are continuing to be a place where people can go and get good advice, get their guitars fixed. We are continuing to have and offer new programs like group classes for kids to get together and perform together and get that experience as well. And in the future, we will continue to do more things community-oriented, whether it's for kids, teens, or adults.
What brings me to Downtown Sounds over other stores in the area? I mean, I've been coming here for a long time. I bought some of my first cymbals for my drums here probably back in 2014. I get a bunch of trade-ins and stuff like that I really like. Like you can get shaker-rays and different handmade instruments. They just got a variety of stuff, and I appreciate that as somebody that's been coming here for a long time.
If you're looking to learn or purchase an instrument, be sure to check out Downtown Sounds, and thank you for watching Culture Shock.
All right, I'm in charge now. I have the voice. Buy your tickets at nhsmusical.com.
Thanks so much for watching.
Make sure to come to bowling night tonight, March 8th from 6 to 8 p.m. at Spare Time Bowling.
Tickets are $15 and the winning team will receive a $100 cash prize. See you there!
A half-naked man just biked by.
He did. Where?